Hey guys, welcome to my live stream. Welcome to my cactus live stream, cactus care, cactus seedlings. I have a lot of different ones that I want to deal with today, go through. I have a few that we need to repot because I threw that thing on the desk when I was just bringing them. And I brought the chili again. Let me show you my chili. It's flowering and I think it has a little fruit. So I want to discuss that later. Hey, good morning. Great to see you. Thank you for joining. Yeah, great to be back. I brought the chili because I've been filming a time lapse with the chili over two days and 2 nights. And yeah, it looked okay. A little bit, it was a little bit more difficult than I wanted it to be. But I will post that later. And when I did that, I just saw that the plant has started to flower. Flower or maybe even fruit. I'm not sure. We will see. I'm not sure how long it takes going from flower to fruit, but we will see. Yeah, and I brought that thing to show that later on. And I have a lot of seedlings, a lot of good stuff. And I'm always happy to take questions again. So yeah, great to be back, guys. Weekend is almost over again. I just blinked twice and the weekend was almost over already. So make the most of it today. Hope you guys have a great Sunday. But yeah, let me go through everything. Later today, I want to start singling out again. Maybe 1 or 2, we'll see. Maybe something like this that's completely full of seedlings. Yeah. I really dropped 1 container full of seedlings onto another container earlier today, so I will have to clean that up during the day too, during the live stream sometime. But yeah, let's get started. I think I have everything here. So let me show you the seedlings. So I want to take down the additional soil that I dumped there. That just fell on it. I already started to pick up the seedlings just to get everything normal again. I have a water sprayer. So let me get something for below that I don't flood the desk again. And then I would spray them a little, just a little bit of water, but just enough to make the soil a little bit usable. Okay. And maybe we're sowing out some of those other seeds that I brought. I'm not sure how much time we will have. I have paprika. Yeah. Paprika, watermelon. A lot of different seeds that I will go through later. Yeah, but first I want to start with these here because they need it. They look a little bit stressed. They look a little bit dehydrated after I basically dumped a ton of soil on top of them. Maybe we are repotting 1 or 2 of those too in the old soil. I feel like we should start getting rid of that at some point. The soil is just old. Yesterday I've seen that here's a seedling that didn't make it. Check this out. Here, this one in front. This is fungus gnats. Almost certainly fungus gnats. So yeah, we might have to repot to get rid of them entirely. Okay, yeah. I put this on the side. Maybe we will repot them during the live stream today. I watered them now just to make sure that in case we leave them in this soil, they have enough water. But I actually think that this soil here, it's just through. There's a point when you need to change, when you need to go into new soil. And yeah, I'm seeing that there. Then I wanted to show you these and welcome everyone else who's just joining. I appreciate it. Great to have you here. I am always happy to take questions, that kind of stuff. If not, I'm just going through the seedlings that we have grown. A lot of different ones. So yeah, these need water in a takeaway container. What's the label here? Columnar cactus, and the father was a flower hybrid. just to maybe get something column now with a good flower. I want to spray them a little. And then I let that soak for a while because that soil was really dry. Here's my little trash can for everything that we take out of the containers that doesn't look good. There's a lot of them where we might have to clean up a little. Okay, yeah, let's see. Let's go through the bags that I have here. I want to take some of them out of the bag. I usually keep cactus seedlings in this bag for maybe 2 or 3 months. And at some point I really try to get them out so I can start watering more often, more regular, so I can spray them with fertilizer. But yeah, these are not there yet. These are just too small. Here's a seedling that needs to be removed because it doesn't look healthy. Sometimes you have seedlings that are just there to expire again. So I take that out. Yeah, apart from that, maybe a little bit of rain. Spraying them a little bit. But I would really love to bring these out of the bag. But like the age, they should be much bigger than they actually are. In this case, the seedlings are almost 3 months old and they have barely grown. That's a little bit disappointing. And this is the kind of hybrid where that just happens a little. So yeah, they need to stay in the bag for longer. I'm just not seeing that growth that we would have to bring them out. Maybe I should really move this closer to the lamp to get some sort of a little bit of growth. It doesn't have to be much, just that is a sign that they are not completely wasting my time. Okay, so this here, I think we can bring out. This is pretty good. Seedlings look okay. This is in the first soil that we use, so they should already be bigger. But now we see quite a few of the seedlings with spines. That is enough for me today to say, okay, we bring them out now. And that allows me to let the soil dry out in between watering now. In the beginning, within the first 2 or 3 months, I really tried to not miss out on watering. But now that whole approach changes. Now we really try to let the soil dry in between. They have reached a certain size in most cases, like in this case. They can take it when the soil dries out for a few hours here and there. So yeah, I would spray it just a little so I can clean this up. Like I want to move 1 or 2 seedlings that are a little bit crooked. I want them to be well positioned that they can really take in the water when I bring them out now. But apart from that, they look good. I'm happy with them. There's 1 or 2 that are variegated, but they will be variegated whether they are in the bag or not. When I take this out now, the variegated seedlings might give in. We would see. Sometimes they survive. Okay. And I'm always happy to take questions. If not, we're just going through. These here, another example that are just too small to bring them out, but I would love to bring them out. So I consider doing it anyway. At some point, I mean, I try to have patience with seedlings, but there's the type of seedlings that are just a waste of time. And yeah, some of them here look like that. Look like they could be that. In comparison, I don't really mind when a seedling is growing slower. But I have immense doubts if these even survive long term on their own root. The moment I bring them out, I'm sure we will lose some. And I think we will do it. I just believe that looking at the soil, looking at that greenish kind of tone that the soil has, I feel like this will become just a bad kind of pH level if I don't start fertilizing with the pH buffer. I have a fertilizer that has a pH buffer that sets the pH level of the soil automatically at 6 6.5, something like between 5.5 and 6.5, and I really want to start using it here. So maybe we will try bringing them out now, removing the little bag that they were still in, and now the soil needs to dry. In between, every time I'm watering, I really want this to dry. For one, I want to get rid of the algae that is growing on the soil, and I'm not sure if you can really see it in the video, but it's definitely there in reality. And then there's this fungus gnat, kind of problematic. It should dry out. Okay, yeah, next one. We are really starting to push the seedlings. In the last couple weeks, there are situations when I, for the first time, really start letting the soil dry out completely. And I also try to water and fertilize on a regular basis now. Most of them are at a point where they can take it. Okay, yeah, these here, also way too small to take them out. I'm not sure what to do with them. They really don't strike me as superbly healthy. You see what it is. Want to see the label. Hilde Winterer. Oh yeah, I should have known. I should have known. Yeah, they are just genetically a little weak. I want to start spraying them, watering them a little, just so I can have a closer look at the seedlings. Sometimes you have to move the seedlings, get them perfectly into the soil to give them a chance when they are this little. They are basically disadvantaged little seedlings that might not be perfectly healthy on a genetic sense. Here's a seedling that I considered taking out because it's just not looking healthy. It's just not giving me that impression that it might survive. So yeah, I take that one out. Apart from that, the others look okay-ish. One doesn't seem to have a big root, and that could already be like a sign for trouble. But for now, it's still here. I just try to get it a little bit deeper into the soil so it can take in the water if there's an issue with the root, you know. But some of the seedlings in this container don't really look superbly healthy. This will come into the bag again. Yeah. Hilde Winterer, I recommend to graft them. I recommend to graft them early. And we will do it very soon. Maybe I even consider to start grafting today with the little seedlings, because I have a few seedlings that we could graft. But we will see. It will be a busy live stream today, and I'm not sure if I can get it in. But maybe we will do that, okay? So, yeah, let's have a look at these two. They look horrible. That's why they are still in the bag. Way too late. Like they are way behind. These are Humkes Roro, Hilde Winterer, Echinopsis hybrid, and I'm at the point where I want to really push them. Where I feel like, okay, they need to decide if they want to grow or not. This is already one of the genera that I do not like, that I'm not specialized in. I have very little regret sorting these out if they do not grow healthily. So we will bring them out now. I would spray them now. Then I let the soil dry out, and then sometime soon I will fertilize them. These, when they are in the bag, they usually do not get fertilizer. I only start doing that when I bring them out, and I want to start here. I want to have that soil dry out all the time, and I want to be able to fertilize it. Maybe that will bring the seedlings to life. Okay, so here's one where there's just one seedling in it. I wanted to put that aside for later so we can transplant that into another container. This is just a waste of space. I don't have so much space, so maybe we can put that elsewhere. Okay, what's this? This is another one like that, I believe. Yeah, no. This is also weak seedlings. What is it? Yeah, of course it's Hilde Winterer again. It's always Hilde Winterer. Yeah, I'm not sure. We could leave them in longer, but this is already going for 3 months. At some point, with the Hilde Winterer, they really need to make up their mind if they want to be alive or not. I will take this out now. I don't want to wait any longer for them. Okay. Usually I try to keep them in for 2-3 months, but there's a limit. There's a limit when you have to see, okay, when seedlings don't change, when they don't grow over 2 months or so. Life's too short to waste it with seedlings that don't want to live. So in this one, same situation. We will take these out now. I just had them in there so they could recover a little bit. They've been attacked by fungus gnats, and yeah, they were dehydrated, but now we need to take them out. Maybe even repot them. In this soil, the soil looks a little bit old. At some point, I really like to change soil. We would see. I put it to the side, but this is something where I want to get involved maybe. Okay. I will leave them in if it makes sense. In this case, I will leave them in a little longer, but also these are coming to a point when things should really start developing. I want to spray them just to give them that little bit of rain and to get the soil nice and smooth so I can push the seedlings into the soil. That really helps you to avoid breaking the main root that they have. If the soil is too hard, sometimes you just break off the root. So yeah, just trying to maybe correct the position of seedlings a little bit. Sometimes when they are already looking bad early on, that's usually a sign when they are unhealthy, when something has attacked the roots, but we will give them a chance for now. Hey, welcome to the live stream. Great to have you. Thank you. Yeah, I will close it up again now, but very soon these will also be coming out. I'm just not. I want to start getting them hardened up a little bit. There will be a time when I'm mostly outside gardening, doing the flower stuff, and then I want to have these at a point where I know that they won't completely fail when I forget to water them for a few hours. Okay. Good. Let's have a look at the takeaway containers that I brought. Most of them should be all right, but I want to at least look into them in case there's any kind of issue, like a fungal thing that we might have to deal with. Yeah, this looks okay. I like the color. Nice green, healthy color. Hey, thank you. Everything great. Vielen Dank. Alles gut. Schönen Sonntag. Happy Sunday in German. So yeah, every now and then there are Germans in the live stream. Okay, yeah, these come back into the container. I will close the lid again, just spraying them a little. There are 1 or 2 seedlings that we can maybe correct, just to avoid that there's something that's starting an infection in there. Is a little seedling that I want to take out. Sometimes they are just barely alive when they germinate. It really depends on what kind of a how much seed you had. Like if a seed is just half the size that it usually should have, then it's very likely that the seedling will also look weakish. Apart from that, this is okay. They need to stay in there a little longer and then we bring them out. Not that long anymore. In general, yeah, 2 months, 2-3 months in this thing is a good time frame where they can be, where they make it usually, and then at some point you might have to move them. Hey mate, greetings to you. That's great to hear. Yeah, we're doing seedling grafts very soon. I'm just running like out of space with the seedlings. There's so many seedlings that we will probably use it to graft a little. You know, when you have a when I have a pot where there are 200 seedlings in it, we don't need that many. So we will do it on the live stream too. So yeah, but great to hear it's working. It's usually like if you're working clean, if you have a good healthy grafting stock, it's a very good thing to do. Saves you a lot of time. You just have to really work clean, have a good setup with a little bit of light, maybe a little bit of humidity in the beginning. The smaller they are, the more important humidity is, I think, in the first days. But yeah, it's good. We will try to do it a little. And in summer, maybe a few more grafting live streams. We will see how that will go. But the live stream's great to do that kind of thing, I believe. Just to have a little, to have the ability that people can ask. Yeah, the Perisciopsis are the reason why I'm not doing so much grafting on seedlings, like with seedlings. The Perisciopsis, they need a lot of water. You need to always make sure you keep them warm, that kind of stuff. And yeah, it needs a lot of space. You need a lot of grafting stock if you're really doing it on a substantial kind of level. I would love to have Perisciopsis. It's a great kind of genus. I like them as plants. They're these original kind of cacti, these early versions of cacti. And that's what I like about them. You can kind of look at them and they give you an idea how the early cacti have looked like. Because that's actually the type of plant that they developed from, or, you know, how we got to the cacti that I'm growing here. They had, the early cacti still had leaves. And I mean, they still have these little vestigial leaves, these little tiny remnants of leaves. And that's why I like them. They're interesting plants. Okay, yeah, in this one, they look okay, but at some point, sometime soon, we will have to take it out here. Yeah, it depends on what kind of a climate you have, right? Over here, I think they would need a constant 20 degree, right? 20 degrees Celsius to actually grow. So I wasn't growing them. I had a few every now and then, but they, as a grafting stock here where I live, they were never really hardy enough. But it's a great plant, especially for seedlings. If I would be in a hurry, I would do a lot more with them. They save you a lot of time. And it's a type of grafting stock that really readily accepts the cyan, and that makes it useful for little seedlings. Like if you try to graft a little seedling on a very old kind of woody kind of grafting stock, they often throw it away, like discard it. The graft just fails. And yeah, with Perisciopsis, they are the type of plant where you can just, where there's very weak tissue, it's perfect for grafting. Okay, yeah, a little bit more water here, but that's it. I think I will keep it closed just because of the fungus gnats. And maybe in 2 weeks we will bring them out here. Okay, next one. This here looks like it needed to dry out. There's a seedling here. Damping off, combination of damping off and fungus gnat damage. So we just clean that up. I always take out any kind of seedling that didn't make it. I don't want to have that thing rotting in there. Yeah, and then I want to water it a little bit. It's dry now. So I guess it's safe to water, but this needs to dry out again. Very, very certainly. Yeah, that's a great kind of weather. I would love to have that. Congratulations. That's really a good kind of climate to grow plants. I would love to have something like that where I live. The cold winter was always the issue, not only for the plants, also for the house. Like I spent a large part of my life living in a cold house because it's so expensive to heat. And yeah, I always envy that kind of a climate. I always wanted to have it. I might at some point I might actually, move abroad when the winter in Europe get too cold. That is something that I will never get used to. A cold winter. Cold winter. I like snow. I like when it's a snowy day and you can walk around. Like Mika and Snoopy really loved the snow, loved playing in the snow, and that is great. That's a great thing. But just from a grower's point of view, that kind of a climate isn't great to have. Okay, yeah, I will close this up again, and then maybe in 2 weeks we will bring them out here. I really want to start pushing the ones in the takeaway containers too. Oh. Yeah, sometimes you just open a container and it looks weak. This kind of stuff. You have seedlings there. They are just tiny and they are not growing. So this is Amun-Re, really good kind of flower hybrid, but sometimes the offspring is not genetically healthy, at least not perfectly healthy. I would spray this a little. Maybe we will get 1 or 2 late germinations, just to maybe, because the ones that were there, they don't give me hope. Maybe something else will come up. Yeah, snow is nice if you don't have to drive to work. That kind of thing. I like. There are times over here when all the public transportation breaks down because of snow. When you can't even walk to the mailbox because of snow. It's really great. It's beautiful if you can just take a little walk in the snow and then go back inside. But apart from that, it can be really annoying. It gets boring really fast when you are seeing nothing but 3 weeks of snow, 3 weeks of ice, that kind of stuff. It gets old pretty fast. Yeah. Depending on what you are sowing out, sometimes the sowing, like the germination time, is a little longer anyways, There are plants that need a few months to germinate. Some of the trees with the bigger seeds, that kind of stuff. Okay, yeah, these here, not looking perfectly healthy. They have that yellowish kind of tone to them, where I feel like variegation might be an issue. Yeah, like when we have the same with the seedlings, like with the cactus seedlings. They have that natural protection against germinating at the wrong time, because that would be a huge genetic disadvantage, a huge evolutionary disadvantage. So yeah, so it's smart. For these here, I will just close it up again for now. I'm not really seeing anything that we could do. We could take them out now, but they already look not great. Maybe they will look a little better in 2 weeks or so. They would stay in there, I would say, for 2 more weeks, and then we bring them out. I don't want to keep them like too long in these things. I'm sure you have noticed that today I'm pressing a little bit for the seedlings that are still in humidity, simply because I feel like it's time. I feel like it's time to get started, and everything that isn't already starting to harden up a little, they might never do it. So these here, yeah, sometimes it can be great to keep the failed germinations for a few months, for 6 months maybe. Even if you are only trying a second germination cycle, which is something that I sometimes do with important seeds. When you have seeds where you really want to get these seedlings, yeah, but giving them a second chance, very often it pays off. I would say, like when I'm doing a second germination cycle, there were some that had complete viability. Sometimes you just have something that isn't perfect, like one factor, one little thing, like the temperature or the dryness of the soil, and then you can't guarantee germination at that moment. But at a second time, maybe it's different. The bigger Opuntia kind of plants, they might need a little treatment, with the file. I read that especially Opuntia and Ostro, Cylindropuntia, like these slender Opuntioids, like Cholla, the seeds that they have need a little treatment sometimes soaking them, sometimes filing on them. So yeah, that can help. Okay. Yeah, these also don't look great. I'm not sure what to do here. They are too small. They don't look perfectly healthy. At some point, I want to bring them out too, but not today. This is also Amon-Re. And if I can get one or two of the seedlings here, then I'm happy. So for now, this comes back into humidity, probably also for 2 more weeks, but not much longer. Yeah, I mean, depending on whether these Opuntia species experience real frost. There's some American Opuntia species, for example, like Fecanta, I think, and the seeds might really need that cold treatment in addition, So yeah, that's a good place to store them. Okay, yeah, these are pink stripes. Very small seedlings, not really looking super healthy. We will see. For now, I'm not completely disinterested in them. They don't completely look like they have no chance. So I will close it up again. This is the type of seedling that you would want to put closer to the lamp, because these really need to be shown the light. They need to grow a little towards the light, because right now they are so small, so tiny, that I'm not even sure if they have what it takes to grow. So yeah, this comes at the top, close towards the light. I want to see how they do under that kind of situation with that kind of setup. Okay. These here are also too small to take them out. Nothing has really grown here. Very, very soon, 2-3 weeks, then we might actually bring them out no matter what. For now, they get a little bit more time. But the fact that they don't have spines already is not a good sign at that kind of age. This is probably the first soil that I used, and that means this is at least 2.5 months old. Yeah, with the light ones, with the a lot of them are variegated here. They are just like when you're trying the difficult kind of hybrid crosses, the likelihood that you will have variegated seedlings rises exponentially. I'm just not doing the safe crosses anymore. I just got bored with them. At some point, you have done them. You have done the crosses that always work, and then you're trying out other stuff. And that will eventually lead to a lot of variegated seedlings here and there. And I usually don't keep them around for, like, we will graft 1 or 2 just to show how it's done. But it's not something that I wanna get used to. These here, 2 weeks, and then we take them out. For now, I see a few variegated seedlings in between, and they look bad. They look bad in every case. I could already consider taking 1 or 2 of them out, but I don't want to be a little bit too early. I want to give them a chance. I would spray them. And very soon these will come out. The size is not far away from what could actually survive. We will see. I will think about it. Yeah, the auto moderator has filtered the comment because it kind of saw it as an insult or something like that, because the seedlings mutated, you know. So yeah, I should have approved it. Now if it doesn't show up, it's because that the chat moderator has thought it's someone calling me that, you know, like because it happens from time to time. It sporadically happens, so they have that thing running at a strict setting. But sometimes it also gets the normal post, they are caught up in between that. Yeah, okay, so I will close this up again. This will come back into the container. But apart from that, yeah, we could already consider to take them out, but maybe not all at once. I don't want to have a situation where I have too many seedlings, too many containers that come out of humidity at once, because you always need to be able to focus on the ones where you really just brought them out, because they aren't used to it yet. Okay, now I want to show you my chili plant here. Check this out. Because it has started to develop something that looks like fruit. I'm not sure why. I really need to look into that in regards to the hours of light. If it might have to do with that. I had that plant in the time-lapse room, trying to film a time-lapse, and it worked. It was dehydrated, and then I watered it, and on the time-lapse video it blew up, like from all the water it was taking in, and then it started to flower. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's either a reaction to the water, to getting more water than usually, or it's because I moved it to a different light. But we get something. I'm looking forward to that. I really do. This is great. I never thought that thing would flower, so especially not so fast. Okay, yeah, let's water these here. I've cleaned this up earlier, and I want to water them now. Then we'll see what we do. I consider repotting them, but it doesn't seem to be so bad. We would see. Just a little water to get the soil a little bit more flexible, to getting it to a firmness where you can shove the seedlings into the soil without breaking anything off. Yeah, needs more water. Feel like the seedlings look a little dehydrated, but that is all. Long term, these will come out. I feel like this is the type of stuff that I want to repot eventually. So I'll put this aside now. It's gotten water. And yeah, let's get started potting up, because that's the hardest part. I want to get something of the hard work done now. I have new soil. Once again, sowing soil. A very good all-rounder, very good all-round kind of soil. And yeah, let's move a few seedlings. I have containers where there are a million seedlings at once, where I've sown entirely too much. Check this out, stuff like this. So we might do this. And I have a container that I dropped here where I need to move them. They're already falling out, so maybe we're doing that. You constantly drop something. It's just how it is. At least for me, with my muscle problems, it happens on a regular basis. Okay, so I will just fill up a little pot full of soil, so I can start moving the seedlings into this new pot, into this new soil. I have a big pot of soil below the desk, and I constantly need to be careful that my cat doesn't think it's a cat toilet. But so far, I could usually defend it, mostly. Okay. And this isn't good enough. Check it out. I can fill up a little bit more. I really want to have a good full pot here. That the seedlings are way up, that they get a lot of light. Okay, what I will do now is I go through the top layer and see if there's any big chunks that are lying on top of there. I don't want to have the seedlings growing into wood into pieces of wood, because that often results in a torn off root of the seedling, and I don't want to have that. So now I try to remove the soil from the seedlings here. These come into new soil now, and I carefully try to remove the old soil. I really want them in the new soil. I don't want to just push them into new soil with the old soil still there. I really want them to get new soil. The smaller they are, the more soil I usually leave on there, just because once you're below a certain size, it becomes unsafe to pull around down there. But at this size, the seedling size should do pretty well with it. Yeah, and this goes all into new sowing soil. It wasn't intentional, but it was time. So yeah. Yeah, I have real issues with the fingers, with just grabbing stuff, and it was much worse than it is now. So I'm really thankful it's not worse. It was so bad that I couldn't hold the smartphone, and now I can do that without dropping it all the time, and I'm thankful for that. But it really shows when I'm moving stuff around, when I'm moving plants around, I always drop something. Yeah, I was born in the 80s, early 80s. I'm that generation. I still experienced computers. I still experienced that classic, like Windows 95 kind of time. I grew up in that time, and yeah, it was a great place to live as a young me. Internet opened all the doors for me. That's why I'm doing English. I've been very early on just being in contact with people all over the world, just sharing the hobby. And yeah, that's a good time. That was a good time to grow up. I'm really proud to have grown up in that time. It was good for me in regards to, like, there was tech. You had access to tech, and it allowed me to learn English. I basically learned English watching The Sopranos and watching horror movies in English. And yeah, I really enjoyed that time growing up. Today, like when I look at the landscape today, I would love it. Like I would really love if it were still like that, like it was before. And I don't mean like I love smartphones. I love a lot of the technical advantages that we have today. But today you really see the price of of all that, like these smartphones being available all the time. So many people have burnout today, and back then when they didn't catch you on the phone, it was all good. It lived a little bit less stressful like that. I lived a little bit without stress. Later on, I mean, a healthy mix of both is great. And I felt like my generation had that. Yeah, and I like the 70s. 70s was an interesting time frame too. I only saw it in television. But right now I'm watching a lot of that stuff that came out like towards the end of the 70s, early 80s. Like this morning they were showing the $6 million man, like with like Lee Majors, that kind of stuff. I think that was in the 70s, I believe, and they've just shown that on television, and I've just watched that this morning. Okay. Yeah, so there are a lot of seedlings in there. Yeah, it was pretty similar where I was, like with me. I still remember we originally had a little television with an antenna, and it never worked. We only had 2 channels, and yeah, we were happy. Like when eventually the jump to cable television happened, that was monumental. That was a huge thing for me. What I could watch the He-Man cartoons all the time, that kind of stuff. Was a great time to grow up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is a mess. There are way too many. I'm not sure if we can get all of these in the pot. We might actually have to move them in two. I had dreaded that because we are running out of space everywhere. Yeah, we will see. I don't want to have too many seedlings in one pot, so I will get another one. We might have to split them up here. So, yeah. And very soon, the bigger the seedlings, the more likely it is that we are starting to graft, that we are starting to do the seedling graft that we discussed. And I'm always happy to take questions. Like you see, I'm not really... I like when the stream is having its own direction. Okay, yeah. Trying to fill that up to the outer rim. And I'm spreading them in between the two containers now, splitting them up in between the two containers. Okay. Let me see what this even is. Oh, this is 18A 2000 crossed with FAS 12. That's great. I recently started to consider getting something like a 3D printer. Like when that whole thing started, I was one of the early people who said this is going to be great. This could be great because I have experienced so many situations where a little plastic piece broke in an otherwise ancient device that couldn't be repaired because some little thing broke. And I just like that idea that you are able to produce everything if you just need the plans. I really like that principle. And in the last 6 months, for the first time I considered getting something like that, just to produce a little bit of art here and there. But yeah, it all costs money. And I'm currently just barely scraping by. But long term, I might actually get something like that. Just an example, when my window broke that I had, like my bathroom window fell out, and there was this little part was all that was damaged. It didn't even like need so much work. I might have even been able to repair it myself. But since I couldn't get that one part, I had to replace the window. Tried to find someone who would repair it, but nobody was willing to do that. Yeah, that's another, like I have a few, like when sometimes you have these little inlays that you put into the fridge, and one of them has broken. It's another example. Then I looked into it, what it would cost to replace that. And it was something like $50 just for a little thing you push into the fridge. And now I don't use it anymore. That was the easiest solution. Just don't use that little thing anymore. Okay, so I would spray them now here, so I can get the soil a little bit easier to handle, to push the seedlings into that thing. And then yeah, then we'll see. I see fungus gnats fly around here. We might have to switch like the soil all the time just to get rid of them. They're really annoying me. They're really bothering me this time. I should have just sterilized the soil. I believe it. I believe it. That's great. It's great to hear. I'm sure there will be a lot of development in that regard. Like my idea was, like when that happened with the 3D printers, when they started floating these ideas and floating these potential new kind of industries where you could use it. I always felt like it would be great that if you could just replace every part of the car that you're driving, you know, like a car where you can just, if something breaks, you can just produce that part yourself. I really like that idea. I really like that. Okay. Yeah. So I will move the seedlings now, carefully pushing them into the soil. The soil is somewhat swampy enough to move the seedlings into it. You can just push them down into the soil and usually they go in. If not, just create a little hole. Yeah, we'll see. We will see what the fungus gnats, how much pain they will still be long term. I am letting the soil dry out now, and I'm hopeful that I can get rid of them mostly. But there are 1 or 2 containers where they have really been a problem. I'm not sure if it will be a big enough problem to do something, but it will depend. Like long term, if fungus gnats really bother me, then we will start every live stream by pasteurizing the soil in the future. Yeah, that's often a good thing. It's just the moment you bring them out of the container, you still expose them to the fungus gnats, you know? Sometimes you can already really deter them, really keep them away by putting up like a ventilator, like a little fan that keeps them from being able to fly, fly from plant to plant. Sometimes that can be really helpful. The only reason I'm not using a fan there is because Kami keeps sitting there. Kami likes that spot near the plants, and if the ventilator's on, then she's getting too much air into the face. That's why I'm not using it. But it would really help to keep the fungus gnats away. So if they really become a problem, that's what we could do. Just increase the speed setting of the ventilator, of the bedroom fan that I put there. Okay. Yeah, I'm just moving the little seedlings one by one into the soil, and this will take a little, but it's important work that we need to do. And on the long term, the fact that I'm changing into new soil, into fresh soil, is a good thing. We might still lose 1 or 2 just by looking at the root section of them. They look a little bit, I don't know, little flat, little eaten. But most of them will be all right, I think. And again, we have so many seedlings that losing a few here and there isn't that huge deal, isn't that huge issue. Okay. On the long, these will be really good. These will look really nice. I'm looking forward to the flowers. 18A 2000 is a consistently good father. Also works as a mother. And in this case, with Fast 12, that's a good combination. I want to see them. So we're repotting them now. I really don't want to lose unnecessary seedlings here and there. And maybe next year they will come into the greenhouse. For now, they will stay inside. I don't want to have them outside in a non-controllable setting, or in a setting where I can only control certain aspects. Sometimes you have a slug in there that really gives them the rest. So keeping the little seedlings inside is long-term is the plan here. Getting close to the end. And I'm happy about it. I hate doing that. This is just not fun work. Sowing out is fun work, but later reporting the million seedlings that you have, that's not fun. Okay. So long term, we will have to move them again. For now, they are like this. The one that wiggled around, I want to look at that again. It looks bad. There's something not all right with the root section there. There must be a reason it's been wiggling around. I hate that. I'm not sure if we should even put it back. Doesn't look good. We could graft it. Maybe next time. I will put it there. If it comes out, we will graft it next time. They will get a little water now, and then those can go back. We doubled the amount of space that they need, but yeah, unfortunately, sometimes that happens. But I just want to clean this a little. This is super dirty. What a mess. I want to get me a piece of kitchen paper. This is just disgusting. Because I need to work there. I need to continue to work here. And this is just not okay. So after that, I will continue watering. Because I still have a lot of seedlings here that need water. Then I have seedlings that I want to discuss because they need other stuff. So let's see, one by one. I hate this. Need a trash can here. Okay. So I like these. Check out how these look. They look okay. Finally, this is one of the containers that I transplanted into new soil. And in this case, they really appreciated that change into the new soil. I'm really happy about them here. Lobivia winteriana seedlings, for now they will just get water. They need, like, if I would move these into the greenhouse, they wouldn't make it. I just, in the future, all Lobivia winteriana stay inside, at least until it's safe. I just don't trust the little seedlings to take it, to tolerate that kind of frost temperature. I wanted to show you these here. This is Teleflora. It looks unhealthy like crazy, but they continue to grow. This is genetic variegation, something like that. And they grow in an interesting way. So for now, I will just leave them in the soil. I don't want to do much. I feel like if I start disturbing them now, I might jinx it. Hey, welcome to the live stream. Great to have you. Thank you for joining. Good morning. Thank you. I hope you had a great weekend too. Doing my best today. Making the most out of the Sunday. Yeah. They are growing, but they are not growing fast here. This is going to take another few months until we can single them out safely. I just feel like right now, everything's running smoothly, so why change it? Little bit more water here, but I really like how those are looking. This is decent. Then I saw seedlings that need water. I repotted them. They're a little bit too deep still. It's just that eventually the soil sinks in, and if the pot is not perfectly full, they would sink even further down. So for now, they will just get water. They look okay, apart from the fact that I can't see the root. They're okay. I just would love to see the root, to know that there's nothing going on down there. But unfortunately, it's not. I'm not seeing it. Okay, so these need to be singled out very soon. We will see. I will put this aside. Maybe we're doing it today, but I already did something like repotting. Thank you. My mother donated it for the live stream. I had another one and it broke recently, and I really need that water sprayer. It just makes a difference when you are sitting here. Like I still have the can here, the leaky can, but it's still a little bit. Sometimes you need that fine rain, that fine mist, and you can't do it with the bigger water can. These need to be singled out. I've seen that there's something going on down there. Yeah, let's get started. Let's transplant them. Unfortunately, this needs to be done. So I'm filling 2 containers and then we will split these up. I hope that will be enough. I will never sow out so many seedlings again. Never. Right now, like inside here, I have 5 or 6 different water sprayers. One is with fertilizer, the other is with pesticide, with neem. The others are with water, and I also have one for organic fertilizer that I've been using. But I was so disappointed with that one, because the plant still developed a nutrient deficiency. I feel like some of the organic fertilizers, you need to do a lot to make them usable as a complete thing, you know, out of the box. Very few organic fertilizers that you can use out of the box. At least that one didn't make it. That one wasn't really what I wanted. So maybe next time we're using a different one. Okay. Need a second container full of soil. Yeah, and then we're doing that. I have so many, I don't have the space. That's the problem. We are already running out of space with the seedlings. Like under the lamp, you can only give a good quality of space to so many plants. You know, that is always the limiting factor in growing anything. At some point, you will run out of, for one, space. And when I say space, you usually have a lot of space, but you need a very particular space. You need a light space that's warm, like you need a lamp, that kind of stuff. And it's just eventually you run out of it. And your own, like your ability to care for all the plants will eventually also end. You can only do so much in a day. I don't know what that is. Never heard that. Okay. I have soil here. I have a lot of soil, and this year we are going to do compost. But I haven't been, like in the past, I haven't been really like doing much outside of cactus gardening. And when I'm doing my cactus gardening, you can do it without you can have a healthy living soil without doing all the extra work to make the compost. But this year we're still doing it, you know. This year we're doing it because it's interesting to do, but just technically with a good fertilizer and enough good soil, you could still do it. You don't have to invest all the extra steps to provide that living soil the way some of the vegetable farmers do it. It works without, but of course, if you do it, it can be greatly beneficial to the plants. My main problem is the lack of space, of good grow space. Right now, I'm already looking at bringing in a new shelf to have more seedlings. You just run out of space so fast. And it's the same in the greenhouses. I will look into that, but the limit in that regard, the problem is the cost of electricity. I want to get something solar that I can use solar energy eventually. But the plant lamps that I'm using, they cost a lot. I think I'm paying a good $50 a month just to grow the seedlings and the chili stuff now. It just adds up. And you have the water that you need. You are constantly buying soil, that kind of stuff. You're always going up with in regards to the amount of money you need to spend to just keep everything healthy. Because the moment you start cutting corners, it comes at the general health of the seedlings. It's really difficult to upscale. So I really try to not overdo it anymore in the future. Like when sowing out, I will only sow out maybe 30 seeds at the most, not more. Because very often, the better you get at it, the more will stay alive, the more you will have, always. And in this case here, I think we have 150 containers with seedlings. That gets big very fast. But yeah, in order to do it, to adequately do it on the live stream, we have to report them all the time. And that's what we're doing. At some point, I would just sort them out. Or maybe donate some. You get the idea. But there's a limit what you can care for. I would really love to have a solar thing that will pay for it eventually. Like, I really hope that the quality of solar will become good enough that I can run it, That would be really good. Because the electricity costs are so high. And now all the companies are constantly raising the prices. They are using every excuse to raise the prices. Electricity, heating, it's really an issue. Okay, yeah, I will try to spread these up, like splitting them up in between 2 containers. I don't want to have more. Okay. Right now I have a lamp that's what is it? A Mars Hydro TS 1000. That's the lamp that I'm using right now. And it's not that this is a particularly great lamp. It's just okay for what I'm doing. Eventually I will replace the lamp, so I will look into that, what I could use to replace that thing. But it's roughly like the electricity that it uses is roughly that kind of value, 100 watt or maybe 150. That's the lamp that I'm currently using, and it covers that, I don't know, 2 meters on 2 meters, maybe like 2 meters in this direction, 2 meters in this direction. And yeah, that works. I have a desk, I have a shelf for the seedlings in there. And for now, it's okay. But eventually, I will get me a new lamp. I just hope that every few years, the lamps get more efficient. there's been a lot of progress with LED lamps in the last 10 years or so. So I just hope that eventually they will be good enough that they can run for very cheap. That's my hope. Okay, so I looked at the label here, and this is Lobivia hybrid Dessau crossed with Arboricola and Sylvia. So I'm not sure if we will keep so many of those. Highly unlikely. Dessau, I probably have enough if I keep one container. But for now, I will pot them up. But long term, I consider sorting out half of these. That you just have, sometimes you have to make decisions what you keep and what you can't keep. This is too many of that kind of cross. Okay. So let's get them into the soil now. And yeah, long term, one container will probably be enough. Okay, so by the way, about the live stream, I consider doing the live stream from outside very soon. Like the moment the temperature is a little bit higher, we might do it from outside. I'm not sure what we will do now, but maybe clean up a little, clean up the set. Just to be out in nature. I'm looking forward to that again, and very soon we will do it. Just wanted to say that, wanted to prepare you in advance. In case I'm suddenly somewhere else, like in nature, you know what's going on. I'm looking forward to that. The plants are not flowering yet, but outside we still have that beautiful kind of sky. We had a beautiful week. I could have already started to live stream from outside, but there's just not that much work to do outside. Yeah, like when I got started, when I started with growing cacti, the grow lamps weren't there yet. People were still using these kind of reddish and blue kind of lamps, and every time people showed me their plants, like the cacti, they looked really unhealthy. And over the years, the lamps have gotten better and better at least producing this good quality indoor light. That I have kind of changed my mind, my opinion about it a little bit. Eventually, the grow lamps will be efficient enough to do that, you know? Maybe they already are. It's always a question of being able to do it for an affordable price. And I just hope that the price will go down and down eventually. Sometime that we can grow everything inside. That would be great. I would love to have that. Because so many plants don't really thrive in the garden here, but I could grow them inside. That would be great. That would be fun. We could do it on the live stream. But we need that good quality light and for an affordable price. Okay. Yeah, and in this case here, with the seedlings that I have here in front of me, Dessau has potential. Sometimes Dessau produces some of the best hybrids you can imagine. But very often it's just the classic purple kind of Dessau and Wörlitz color that comes through. So I don't want to overdo it with them. I don't want to overload having seedlings of that one plant from that one cross, because it could be bad. I've seen offspring of Dessau that wasn't so great. Sometimes when it goes right, it's perfect, but you know, you always sometimes grow the weaker ones too. And it's quite a lot, to be honest. Yeah, like, do you mean with the setup and everything? I believe it. I'm just not really like at a point anymore where I really want to, like, I don't want to have this huge setup. I don't want to have that endless stuff to care for. I want a little thing that isn't so expensive that I can just run inside, you know, like I do now. And that is fun. I don't really like, I would build me one more greenhouse and that's it. One bigger greenhouse, but that's it. Because you always end up at the same dead end, and that's when you can't water everything anymore the way you should water it. There's a reason my plants always flower, and it's because I put a lot of work into watering early on in the season. And yeah, if you don't do that, because you have too many greenhouses to water, then the plants will look worse and worse, and I don't want to get in that kind of situation. A lot of cactus growers, as they grow older, they have these problems where they have more plants than they can care for. And I'm really aware of that, and I don't want to get to that point. Like with my health issues and all, I need more help here, like with keeping the jungle under control, that kind of stuff. So many trees that grow around that you always have to cut back every year. And like in regards like to having a nursery, they have insane regulations in the European Union now. Like they are getting to a point when it's bad for them. Like when people, like enemies of the European Union, can use that for their advantage, because they have so many regulations and bureaucracy that it's not fun anymore. That it makes it harder for little shops like what I do. So yeah, just glad that I don't have a nursery. I believe it. I mean, I've read a lot about the type of lamps that, you know, like the discussions on Reddit, that kind of stuff, like where people argue about lamps all the time, and it's a huge subject, and I'm sure that some lamps are much better than others within the same price range. So it really, at some point, I will really delve into that. Right now, that the lamp that I'm running, that Mars Hydro thing, that is just the only lamp that I was able to afford. I always had that kind of a 600 watt like NPS lamp, HPS lamp, hydrogen lamp, and they make a beautiful light, but it's so expensive to run it, you know. So I've had that lamp for like 10 years, and I haven't run it once because it was too expensive to run it. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to all those cheaper LED lamps kind of getting to the point where they are really fun to use, where you can really run them without having to worry about the electricity. I believe it. Okay. So I repotted the seedlings here. They are all in their new pot. I will spray them now. And then I will write a second label for that second pot. And yeah, but sometime soon one of those might go. Or maybe we will graft on them. The plant here, this is probably Pseudolobivia. Probably the body that will come out of them. So there might be a useful grafting stock. We will see. Yeah, when it's very well done, that's something great. Like you don't have to do much. I always looked at that, and I was never able to do much like that. You know, like with the liquid culture kind of stuff and all that. I never really became too involved with it. I know how it, like, I know how to use it. Sometimes I use stuff like Ceramis, you know, like these expanded clay kind of stuff. That's already similar to liquid culture. That's already where you can already do liquid culture, but I never really ran it because, like, the cacti that I have, I really don't want them to grow that fast. Like the plants where you really want that automation and all that to really have them grow as fast as possible. Like with the cactus seedlings, I wouldn't even have space for that. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen a lot of like differences in regards to pricing. Like the lamp that I have, I spent maybe $80 on it and knew it cost like, I don't know, 140, 150, something like that. A lot of differences. Sometimes it's really good to look around and wait for a good price right now. Okay, so Dessau crossed with Arboricola and Sylvia. Multi-hybrid, but only if it's really like, but only if the Arboricola really is visible in the body. We will see. This will come back in. And sometime soon, when they are a little bigger, we might actually use them to graft. Yeah, I have 3 little greenhouses, like the maybe 12 square meter greenhouses, nothing big, because the heating costs are so expensive. For me, the heating costs are a huge issue. I come really from poverty. I've been really poor for a large part of my life, and that only stopped because I was doing my books, and because I became who I am today. Like, people know me now, and I actually have potential to leave that behind. But everything that I did, money was the big issue, was always the limiting factor. So yeah, I have a setup that is cheap to heat in winter. I made sure to get greenhouses that are well insulated, maybe with 1 centimeter thick window panels and that kind of stuff. A good UV filter on the panel. It's good greenhouses, but they are small, and only because it's already expensive to heat them. Long term, I might change a few things. I could switch to gas, could put in a gas heater. That kind of stuff could really save me some money long term, and I will probably do it. But it only makes sense if I'm getting a bigger greenhouse, and right now, I'm just not there yet. I'm focusing on the season now, and we will see how the season will go. I'm doing everything to have a great cactus season this year, and I'm not planning anything beyond that. It might be we're doing the last year this year, like at least when I'm filming. If I would retire as a breeder, I would use the greenhouses for vegetables, for that kind of stuff, you know, like scaling the cactus down substantially, just being a normal guy, doing normal stuff. And who knows, that might even be better. It might even be more like successful. So every year that I'm doing like with the cactus, I might not do it again the next. I've been doing this for a while already, and I've been living like that kind of grinding lifestyle. You can only do that for a certain time. And I can't do it like that anymore. Things need to get easier for me. I need to get a little help, you know, like the classic. If you have to do everything yourself, at some point you will just be exhausted. Right now, a large part of my life is taking care of the dog and the cat that we have adopted. And, you know, I'm still here. Like, my wife moved out, and I'm taking care of them like mostly alone now. My wife helps me on the weekend sometimes, that kind of stuff. But that has priority over everything else right now. Just taking care of the animals, and then we'll see what we will do with the plant stuff. I enjoy my work. I enjoy the live stream. but every year is a lot of work. Like filming that, I'm always very happy when I manage to get through the flower season. Okay. Yeah, I've been watering a few more containers that look too dry. We're getting close to the end of the live stream, but I would still spend a little bit more time watering. Maybe 5 minutes of watering where I just spray seedlings here and there. I just have too many and they need water. And I want to always do it on the live stream. And that gives me a little bit more time later when I'm done with it. You know, then I don't have to do it again after the live stream. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I'm still not all right. But I already see that I'm succeeding. I already, like, people follow me every day more and more, and not only on the Cactus accounts, but on the private accounts too. And I'm really thankful, because I, like, just getting here cost me so much power. Just not like, there were years that were so hard that where I feel like I've aged 3 or 4 years in 1 year. So I'm just glad that I'm at that point where I don't have to do it all again. Like, people know me already. You know, it cost me like 8 years to grow the YouTube channel. Just being here now, doing the live stream, 8 years. And I'm not even over 5,000 yet. At some point, that will go fast. But the beginning was the hardest for me. Because I'm easily frustrated. I have that ADHD stuff where you really have trouble planning long term. And when you see these, like when I was on Instagram and they were showing my post to 3 people or so, that's a really tough time. Like, when you really have to push through that. And I'm just glad that whatever I do, people are there to just spend time, and I appreciate that. You know, I had to work hard for that. And I'm thankful. And I just hope that, like, this year, I will do everything to push that thing to a point where I can really do the hobby. You know, where you can afford to do the hobby, where you can just, okay, so I'm ordering a few bags of seed here. I'm ordering, we need a little bigger greenhouse here, that kind of stuff. Just being able to do it in a way that isn't always super, ultra low budget. And I'm looking forward to that one day. It's just like social media. If you look at social media now, I was on Facebook and Instagram for 10 or 50 years, like, just growing, just trying to get the foot in the door. And now I looked at, like, this week I looked at the way they changed Instagram again, and it became so clear to me that you can't win. Like, in this social media landscape that they have today, if you are just trying to make it with good work alone, you might not make it, because they have changed everything. They are using these algorithms where they just push the easily made videos, the easily made stuff, the influencer stuff, just pushed, like the rage baiting stuff, that kind of, you know, and with planned content, just the classic positive kind of planned content, you have a hard time. You will need to have a long breath. You will have to have a long breath to succeed. And yeah, I just realized that this week again. I'm not doing much on Instagram anymore. Like, the way they have changed that platform, it's dead. It's a dead platform. People use it to watch videos. It's become a TikTok clone and nothing else. And that is so sad to see, because it could have been a huge, great platform. But the people that are running that thing, unbelievable. The kind of decisions that they are making, absolutely wild. So my long-term work, I'm here on YouTube. I'm doing my live stream. I'm posting videos. And because I realized you can't rely on social media. Like, you can't really, like, trust that they will just make, that you will. In the past, it was like that. You only had to succeed to be good at it. If you were good, the success followed. and they have changed the rules. It's not like that anymore. So yeah, I'm not sure if I could do it again in this kind of social media landscape. It's really a bad place to be right now as a creator that doesn't want to lean in cheap clickbait, in cheaply produced, mass-produced content, you know? It's a price that we are paying. Yeah. Thank you. I will look at the videos again. Sometimes it succeeded, sometimes it didn't. I recently had one that I put in water that actually grew roots. But yeah, it didn't grow much further than that. It generally works, but I wouldn't really do it at a time when the temperatures are too cold. If you do it, I would try it in summer, really at the heat of summer. And that's when I had the most success with that. Like sometimes when you have them in water, you can't leave them in water for long because at some point, you know, you need to provide nutrients, and when winter comes, you can't keep them in water. But for rooting them, just for inducing rooting, within the first 2 months, it worked. It worked rather well. I was surprised. I didn't think it would happen, actually. So we are doing it again this year. We will see how it goes. Short term, it definitely worked. Long term, there might be a point when it becomes unsafe, especially when the temperatures go down, especially when there's a problem. You know, like when you have a little injury and it's in water, it can instantly become that huge issue. But in general, it was okay. I'm working with a very organic soil here too. Like over the years, I used to work in mostly mineral kind of soil. Like this is pumice, and you have to water it all the time. And over the years, my kind of whole approach went more organic every year. So I'm eventually, if you think about it, that they survive in water and can root in water, it makes sense. Yeah, it like about the social media thing, it's really true. They know that people are so desperate now because social media, it doesn't, you should see what they are offering, like what they are offering as brand deals. Like for, you should create, like, I don't know, 50 videos a month, and eventually it comes down to $5 per video, that kind of stuff. That can keep that social media landscape. I'm not interested in that. Like I realized instantly being an influencer, I want nothing to do with it. And not only because of the prices, the way they are treated, but they are just replaceable because they know that at the moment someone stops just trying to sell product, someone else will take the place. Yeah, let me know how it goes. The Bolivian species are a little bit more sensitive with water. You will have to try it out. It could work, but in general, like for me, long term, this year I decided that I will only grow the Bolivian species in mineral soil. Like I usually try to have it organic, but like the Bolivian species, they really like drainage. They really like good drainage. So make sure later on, keep that in mind when you build the soil. This year, like the plants that I lost over winter were mostly Bolivian species, mostly Bolivian plants that just don't take being in organic soil sometimes. When the winter comes, it really needs to be bone dry. And sometimes that's hard to guarantee. Like when you put it in the greenhouse, it could already happen that you have a little drip water hitting the pot. And then the moment it's an organic soil, you can lose them. I lost a few really cool plants like this year, just from the cold weather and the fact that I didn't have them in a more mineral medium. Same with Lobevia. We will see how it goes inside, but we might at some point have to grow a few different cacti in minerals again. But I really don't want to get back to it. Mostly I'm done with it. just for the few plants here and there that can't be grown otherwise. Yeah, I mean, you can work with everything. I feel like you just have to stay in control of the water management all the time. You need to stay in control of how much humidity you have. If you can control it, it's not a problem. It's just in my situation at some point, I just have so many plants that I might have to move them into the greenhouse eventually. And then you always, like, you can prepare them, you put them in the right soil, that they are all right. But at some point you have to trust that they will make it. And sometimes they don't. So next year I will have warmer temperatures like with the heater. I will have 2 degrees more with the heater. And I will have some plants in a more fast draining medium again, but only a few, not all. Yeah, pumice is great. I have pumice. The only reason that I don't like it is everywhere I put that pot, the pumice falls out and it really bothers me. So I might actually, if I continue to use it, I might fill half the pot with normal soil and half the pot with pumice, just so I don't have it everywhere I work, you know? It's really everywhere. If you are working with pumice, it's never really just in the pot. The pot falls over because it's so light and you have it all over the garden. That's why I'm kind of moving away a little bit from the minerals, also because I'm here having that stuff at my mouse level, at my, you know. If I would be working with mineral, I wouldn't be doing it like this. I would not bring it so close to my face, because everything that you work with, you might inhale also. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we had a great live stream today. This was good. This was really good. I like this today. So thank you guys for having been here today. I will check on my neighbor's chickens now. I can hear the neighbor's chickens gawking again. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I want to look and make sure that it's not the buzzard again that's eating a chicken. It has happened. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love to have these live stream where we just have a nice conversation about stuff. So thank you. I do it every day around 10 o'clock at Berlin time. So thank you guys. Yeah, okay. Think I'm going offline. So again, everyone who was here today, I greatly appreciate it. It's always fun to do it. And I will be back again tomorrow morning for another 1.5 hours. So we will see how long we will do tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Have a great Sunday. Hope you have a nice day. Until tomorrow, everyone. Thank you. It was really great. I enjoyed it. Thank you.